What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Realistic Career Mode with Wrexham. This is episode number 14. It is a highly anticipated one. As many of you know, at the end of last episode, Manchester United came in for our superstar youth academy player, Dylan Matthews, the centre-back who is only 16 years old, but 66 rated already, worth 2.2 million. And, you know, I let that episode sit for a couple days. I wanted to see what people in the comments thought, what their opinions were of this transfer, and if people thought I should reject it, if they think I should accept it, what sort of terms I should accept. Some people were saying, you should ask for like 7 to 10 million. I'll be honest, I could not ask for that much. And unfortunately, even though he has potential, he's going to be a star, I could only get a certain amount out of Manchester United. But for me, I felt like this deal, I couldn't ignore Man United. As much as I wanted to reject them, I couldn't ignore the fact that it's Man United coming in for one of our star players, and I had to sit down and try and see what I could get from them. Eventually, we settled on a £2.9 million deal for Matthews, which I know in the grand scheme of things won't be massive because he'll be worth so much in a couple of years. But for now, that will help us massively invest in the squad as we go into the second half of this window. So Matthews heads to Manchester, to Old Trafford, to join Manchester United. They're just 16 years old. He's only got a handful of senior appearances, but that was clearly enough for the Red Devils as they came in for him. However, there is a slight positive about this. Not just a slight positive, there's another positive about this as well. I thought to myself, okay, well, a 16-year-old, 66 rated centre-back, he isn't going to be playing at Man United. So why don't we try and get him on loan? So that's exactly what I did. Sat down with the same representative. I don't know if that's meant to be Ten Hag. I hope that's not. Sat down with them and said, look, can we get him on loan for the rest of the season at least? Which I wish this was a feature that you could add into original deals. So like if someone was buying a player, I wish you could include in the negotiations loaning them back for however amount of time. But we get Matthews back for the rest of the season, so I'm quite happy with that. I think someone suggested that in the comments actually, said sell him but get him back on loan. So I'm happy with that. We now have a bit of budget as well to improve the squad. And the player that I was really keen on bringing in, now that we've changed to the 4-3-3 formation, we need strength in the wingers positions. And the player I wanted to bring in was Luke Bolton from Salford. The Manchester City Academy player is an exciting winger. He tore us apart when we played Salford earlier in the season, and I think he'll add a lot to this change in formation. He signs for just shy of £1 million, and 66 rated. I think he's going to slot in nicely to this team. He asked for a lower wage, which doesn't make sense and it's not realistic. So I offered him more than what he was on at Salford. So he will receive £4,700 a week. We sort out a bonus incentive too, and he signs a 3-year contract, the 24-year-old. So I'm relatively happy with this signing. No, not relatively happy. I'm actually very excited about the signing. He was the winger I wanted. We've changed formations now, and I need to strengthen in those winger positions. We have James McLean at left wing, but right wing, we've been using Morris, the youth academy player, who's been decent, but I wanted to improve it. And Bolton, I think, will be a great addition as we push for the playoffs. So Luke Bolton in, just shy of £1 million. They gave it a B rating. They said that I could have apparently got him for less. But overall, I'm very happy with that. We reject a bid for Ryan Morris. He is going to be staying with the club now. Aaron James, though, we receive a bid here from Irish side Bohemians for Aaron James, who is he is on his way out anyway, and they match his valuation. So I said, you know what? I'll accept that. And I feel like him going to an Irish club, staying in the UK, is fairly realistic. So I'm happy with that one. So he'll be off to Ireland to Bohemians for £150,000. So we head into the first game of the episode, and it is Crewe away. So at the back of last episode, we drew with Wimbledon. We're now playing Crewe, who are 1 point and 1 place behind us. So this is a massive game. Now, we actually drew with Crewe, just similar vibes actually to the Wimbledon game. So we played Wimbledon and Crewe back-to-back earlier in the season. We were 2-0 up against Wimbledon, ended up drawing 2-2 with them. Then we were 2-0 down to Crewe and ended up drawing 2-2 with them. Last episode, we were 2-0 up against Wimbledon, drew 2-2. Now we're playing Crewe, and Luke Bolton had a chance for a debut goal. He was straight into the lineup, but his low-driven shot was well saved by the Crewe goalkeeper's foot. before the host would take the lead. A pretty poor goal from Leighton concede, I'll be honest. And in the second half, Crew would go 2-0 up. So once again, history repeating itself on that behalf. Crew bagging their 2-goal lead once again. Baker Richards getting on the score sheet. Well, with 25 minutes to go, Elliot Lee would make it interesting, grabbing what would be his 13th league goal of the season, I think, maybe 12th. He makes it 2-1. And is history going to repeat itself? Back-to-back games, back-to-back 2-2 draws? Well, we give away a silly free kick with 18 minutes to go. Crew whip it in. It's headed out, but not cleared. They get it back into the mixer, and Baker Richards has all the time in the world. I don't press him. I was obviously controlling the wrong player there. I don't press him. I make a bit of a mess of it. And there is a fourth goal in the game, but it comes to the hosts. And Baker Richards gets his second and Crew's third of the game. And that really knocked the stuffing out of us. And that was how the game would end. So unfortunately, it's defeat to Crew. A big game that I wanted to pick up at least a point. Any loss feels heavy, but especially when it's a team that you're battling for these playoff spots. This area that we're in the league is so tight, and you can see now we've dropped down to 13th place. So it is a tight scrap, but we're only 3 points off Notts County in 7th. So we need to find a bit of form, and what better way to put us into that win bracket than playing a struggling Crawley side. Well, before we would head into that game, the captain, a captain, although he's not playing much, Ben Tozer comes to us and said, "Look, boss, I'm sorry to do this again, but the squad's worried that we're not matching our expectations." And I'm worried as well. The board want us to win the league, which we're not going to do this season. I would be happy with playoffs, but that might not even be enough. I'm worried for my job, I'll be honest. Well, I want to try and save my job, and by doing that, I want to bring in more players to give us a better chance of winning. And we improved right wing. We are going to bring in another right winger, but I think he can cover left wing as well. It's a loan deal this time. Ben Doak, the 18-year-old Scottish winger from Liverpool, we sit down with Jurgen Klopp and accept a 6-month 50-50 wage split deal for the winger. So he'll come in as well, just to add a bit of depth in the wing positions as well. He looks like a decent player, that's for sure. So hopefully he can add something. Well, the transfer window comes and goes. We rejected a late bid from Paul Mullin for it was an unrealistic destination. And then after the transfer window closed, Stoke came in for Hayden, who is acting captain. Now Tozer's not really playing, but we rejected it. Again, if say we don't get promoted this year, there might have to be a transfer I sit down and potentially accept. But for now, Hayden stays. It'd obviously be. I don't want to be accepting deals when I don't know what league we're going to be in next season as well. Anyway, heading into the second game of the episode, it is Crawley, the South Coast side, who are 22nd in the league. Just 8 wins from their 27 games. So if we wanted to find a bit of form, this was the game to do it. We beat them earlier in the season, and I'll be honest, this game we were creating chance after chance, but they were getting blocks, deflections, saves, anything, and I just felt like I was not gonna get that breakthrough in this game, but we did. 20 minutes to go, and it's from another set piece. Our corners have been on point this season. We look a bit sluggish defending corners. I'm conceding a lot more goals than I ever have, I think, in a FIFA in corners, but we're scoring a lot more as well. And Mendy picks up another assist, and it's the veteran Stephen Davis, who has had a run of games in the team with Belaber's injury. He seems to be happy now and content and doesn't want to move on. He grabs the go-ahead goal with a great header, and then Paul Mullin, Super Paul Mullin, bags his 20th league goal of the season in injury time. There was a slight deflection to this one off the backside of the Crawley defender, but it goes into the back of the net, and we wrap up a 2-0 win, a much-needed win, and a massive 3 points. We found a way. It was a real slog. They were honestly putting bodies on the line. They were fighting for their lives, which they are in League 2 right now, so it was understandable, but we managed to find a way through. 2 goals in the last 20 minutes, and we're back to winning ways in the league. And just like that, these EFL leagues are just so tight. They're so competitive. And, a couple of wins or a couple of losses, and you're yo-yoing up the table. And you saw there, after we lost to Crew, we dropped down to 13th. With that win, we do move up to 10th. So positive signs yet again, and we are within touching distance of the playoffs. That is my aim. And the crazy thing is as well, once, like, say we reach those playoffs, the top three isn't even a million miles away as well. So let's hope that we can try and grab some form, hold some form, and move into those playoff spots. But one step at a time as we head into the third and final game of the episode. It is Harrogate Town. 15 league games to go. We face Harrogate, who are 17th at the moment, 36 points. So again, a game that we would be favourites for, but we do make 6 changes to decide to beat Crawley. This is a midweek game, so the players haven't had a full chance to recover yet. So 6 changes, including Doek coming in for his first start. All 3 midfielders changed too, and it would be the Scottish loanee who had the first chance of the game, but he spooned a shot very well wide. It was awful. And then Lainton made a good save in the first half before 2 minutes into the second half. Marlin finds O'Connor, who is our DM, by the way. I don't know how he was running through on goal there. His shot is saved, but Marlin grabs the rebound. 21 goals in the season now, and we lead 1-0. But the lead will only last 9 minutes as Harrogate scored an absolute worldie, I'll be honest. This finish was beautiful. Smashed into the top corner. And then it would be the host that would almost grab the third goal of the game. 10 minutes to go. They have basically they square it for an open net, but their shot crashes against the bar. And then we make a triple substitution, and just a couple minutes later, Elliot Lee, with one of his first touches, grabs what should be and what hopefully is the game-winning goal. 13th league goal of the season for the midfielder. He's been fantastic this year, and he gives us a vital lead, and we would see it out. Another 3 points, back-to-back wins, and just like that, we're pushing up the table, and we are now up to 8th, as you'll see in the league table in a minute. Just like that, back-to-back wins, and you're in contention again. What our main issue has been this season is consistency. As soon as we've got a couple of results under our belt, we've then dropped points. So it is massive that we now hold our form and win some games back to back to put us firmly in that playoff hunt. Because I'm seriously concerned that if I don't get promoted with this Wrexham side, I might get fired. So this realistic career mode might not be lasting more than a season. Anyway, let's hope it does. We will be going to at least episode 15, which is the next episode I'll see you in. If you're enjoying the series, drop it a like. If you're enjoying the channel, drop a sub as well. And I'll catch you in episode 15 very soon.